If you want lunch, help yourself while we're doing business here. Let's call the roll to establish a quorum.
Supervisor Kuhl,
I'm here.
Mayor Pro Tem McCallum,
Here.
Councilmember Mitchell. Here. Councilmember Robinson.
All right, a quorum is established. Then let us begin with item 1. Start with the presentation and then any questions from our committee members, and then, as usual, public testimony if any. Ms. Wayne, go ahead.
Okay.
Bring your slides up, please.
One sec. Transition.
Sorry, it's a quick transition, but
We're going as fast as we can.
I know you can do it.
This item is to amend and execute technical assistance contracts for implementation of the incentive program. So earlier this month, our board approved over $78 million in eligible projects under CALMOYA program, including AB 134 funds as approved by ARB. And due to the anticipated early encumbrance and liquidation deadlines specified in AB 134, additional technical assistance and support will be needed to help managing the high number of a project and their timely implementations. We also, ARB also increased the funding for the enhanced fleet modernization programs, and we had received high level of participant by motorists. Staff anticipate the need for additional case management support. Plainfield Connections has assisted SCAQMD in the implementation of our various incentive program for past 15 years. We have a current contract with our Plainfield Connection for technical assistance, implementation, and outreach support for the CALMOYA program that was awarded by our board in June 2016 after a formal solicitation process. So we would like to amend the contract with Plainfield Connection for CALMOYA program implementation support that will include implementation of additional projects and provide technical support. And we also would like to execute a new sole source contracts with Plainfield Connections for EFMP support that will include the case management support and assist with program implementation. Recommended actions to authorize chairman to execute the following agreements with Plainfield Connections. First, to execute a contract amendment for the technical assistance for CALMOYA program, adding additional $150,000 from the administrative portion of a CALMOYA program AB 923 Fund 80. Also execute a new sole source contracts for technical assistance for the EFMP in an amount not to exceed $150,000 from the administrative portion of PO2 Special Revenue Fund 56. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. So we have 2 items to approve, but we'll take them as one. Any questions or comments from the committee?
I have one.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Yes, Madam Chair. Just a question on the CALMOYA funds. Are they, that 51.5 million, is that going to be used for demonstration projects or actually to go out and incentivize replacement or putting additional trucks or whatever in the fleet?
That is going to be used for our CALMOYA backup projects that was approved by our board earlier this month.
Those are incentive projects to to do replacements. So it's not pre-commercial, it's commercial incentives to put more trucks on the road.
Does that answer your
What's
question?
incentive for that?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any public testimony on this? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Move the item.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Kuhl,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCallum,
Yes.
Councilmember Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilmember Robinson.
Aye.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
All right. Item 1 is approved. Thank you very much for the presentation. Let us move to item 2, also a recommended contract amendment. Welcome, Mr. Shannon.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. Item number 2, to amend contract to develop online application database for the Carl Moyer program and to reimburse the general fund for administrative costs. The background: in November 15, the board approved a contract with Trinity Technology Group to develop an online application database for the Carl Moyer program. The online application database was launched in April 2017. The online application program greatly facilitated the online submittal process for the participants and improved and expedited the evaluation process for the staff. However, improvements are needed to further enhance the Carl Moyer program online application system. Regarding the reimbursement for the general fund for admin costs, in October 2016, the board adopted a resolution recognizing funds for year 18 Carl Moyer multi-district program, including the administrative funds in the amount of $187,500. The proposal is to incorporate ARB's new 2017 revisions into the existing Carl Moyer program, revisions to the Carl Moyer program guidelines into the Carl Moyer online database. The proposal also is to improve the online functionality for the participants, to add additional capabilities to streamline the evaluation of the applications, as well as to provide additional technical support after launching the enhancements. The proposal also includes authorizing the reimbursement of administrative costs. The recommended actions include amending the contract with Trinity Technology Group to modify and enhance the existing online application database for the Carl Moyer program in an amount not to exceed $85,000 from the administrative portion of the Carl Moyer program, AB 923 funds. Also to reimburse the general fund up to $187,500 for admin costs from the Carl Moyer SB 1107 Fund 32. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. So those are the recommended actions on this item. Any comment or question from committee members? Seeing none, any request for public comment? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve this item?
I'll move it.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Kuehl,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCowen,
Yes.
Councilmember Mitchell,
Aye.
Councilmember Robinson.
Aye.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So let us move then to item 3. Welcome. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Adewale Shiniga. The item before you this afternoon is to execute contract to develop thermal management strategy using cylinder deactivation for heavy-duty diesel engines. As you know, heavy-duty diesel engine continues to be one of the major NOx sources in the basin. They are much more deadlier today than today's natural gas engines. In fact, they emit on an average over 4 times NOx emissions than natural gas engines, particularly during the low temperature activity. For that reason, I would say that there are several efforts out there to address or reduce NOx emissions from these engines. Most of those efforts, though, have been placed on addressing the after-treatment technologies as well as engine technologies. Those efforts, though, however, there's a limited effort directed towards the deactivated, cylinder deactivated technologies, even though this technology has been around for many years now, and they're very prevalent in most of the spark ignited, which is mostly the gasoline engine technologies, for the purpose of improving the efficiency of those engines. For that reason, staff is proposing to develop thermal management strategy by operating or by deactivating 3 of the 6 cylinder and activating the remaining 3 cylinder to increase the exhaust gas temperature. Now, the reason why we're doing this is that one of the Achilles heels of reducing emissions, NOx emissions from diesel engines is because during the cold start or maybe idling, the temperature is not up to par to allow the SCR to operate efficiently. So we believe that once you do this, meaning if you deactivate 3 of those cylinders, what happens is that you increase the temperature by over 200 degrees. That will support the necessary temperature that is required for the SCR to operate efficiently during those periods. So we hope that if this is successful, we will of course conduct a dynamometer testing to further assess the emissions, the NOx emissions from these engines during the the real world drive cycle. I would also like to add that there's a win-win situation here, win-win in the sense that in the case of South Coast, we will hopefully realize a tremendous NOx emission reduction during those low temperature activities. And on the flip side, I believe that this, hopefully, if we do it right, you will be able to see some amount of reduction in fuel usage. So we hope that this could be a business case here. But again, this is an exercise that we need to perform and make sure, hopefully, that it works. So the proposed cost share is as listed up here, and you can see it includes very dependable entities started from Environmental Canada. Environmental Canada is an arm of the Canadian government, very dependable, US EPA, Jacob Vehicle Systems, and Cummins. Both the Jacob Vehicle System and Cummins are actually the developer of the cylinder deactivated technology, and of course, SCAQMD. The total funds here is, project cost is $700,000. And finally, staff recommended action is to execute contract with West Virginia University to develop a thermal management strategy using cylinder deactivation for heavy-duty diesel engines in the amount not to exceed $250,000. Thank you very much.
Thank you, very interesting. Any questions or comments from the committee?
Question.
Judy?
So you would like switch this to 3 cylinders when a truck is idling? Would that be the idea? What are the times when you switch to 3 cylinders?
That's correct. That's correct. It will be during the idling, and because these are the period where the temperature is very low. You need almost SCR needs a temperature about 250 degrees C to operate effectively. So during that period, we've seen that the temperature is right around maybe 100, 150 degrees C. We believe that this activity could actually increase the temperature from the previous study by over 250 degrees Celsius. So that, of course, we have.
Then what do you expect to be any incremental cost on this engine over an existing diesel engine? Anything big, or there's?
I mean, my intuition is that they would try to spread out the non-recurring engineering costs because it'll be software changes likely, and mostly soft changes, not hard changes. So I would imagine it would be nominal. And if you do it with a large number of high volume, then it can be spread out even more. So.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And if you look at it in the context of the 0.02 engine, that is of course the goal. What happened is that if you look at the technology that they're looking at right now, we require that you add additional hardware. For example, you need a burner, you will need some kind of dosing of the oxidation catalyst. You will even need some kind of added, increase the volume of the after treatment technology. Here, what you have is you are working with the mechanics of the engine. So by that fact alone, you can predict that the cost is probably not going to be significant if there's any cost.
And then the switch from 6 to 3 is manually or automatically go?
It would be controlled by software. So there'd be certain either temperature controlled or, it would be smart enough to know when it's an appropriate mode, right? If they're smart enough to fool the EPA and a federal test procedure, they're smart enough to turn off solar when it's necessary.
Okay. Thank you. That was all my questions. They're very interesting.
Any questions? I'm not even sure what I mean by this, but I was just thinking while you were presenting, would this have any application in other areas where we need a higher burden, to cut down any kind of sort of dangerous emissions in terms, now I understand these are primarily trucks or things that are moving, but I wonder whether, have you seen this in any other arena?
Well, I haven't seen it on stationary soils, but I've seen it
Well, we don't
on.
really have the same kind of cylinders, and the alternate stuff that you get in a moving vehicle, right?
But yes, like, yeah.
Well, for diesel generators and gensets, they have that, but they operate at steady state, so they're always operating at the same level. And so you don't have lots of ramping up and down or load
Right.
following. It's commonplace in light duty vehicles, we'll do cylinder deactivation. But in this case, we're doing it to increase the temperature to get to the sweet spot for the SCR to operate appropriately. But we can certainly think
Yeah, I
about
mean,
if there's
like I
what
said,
the
I don't even,
applications are.
I don't know the mechanics well enough of other kinds of
Yeah.
systems to say
That's
sort
a
of
good
even
point.
what I'm asking.
Now,
But
Fred just
it's,
mentioned off-road could be a good application.
off-road.
Because you have the equipment moving and then they stop and do some
Right.
lifting operation and so on, so the load varies. So whenever there is low load, there may be a potential for that.
Yeah, I just think it's something to keep in mind as we see the results potentially, or the hope, we'll see if the results are as hopeful, but I
No,
think
it's a
it's
good
definitely
suggestion.
worth our investment at this point.
So we can look at off-road, marine, locomotive type applications.
Okay, any public testimony on this item? Any further questions from the committee? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve this contract?
So moved.
Moved and
Second.
seconded. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Kuehl,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCallum,
Yes,
Councilmember Mitchell,
Aye.
Councilmember Robinson.
Aye.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
All right, thank you very much. Let us move to item 4. Presentation, please, Mr. Day. Hi.
Good
Go ahead.
afternoon, Madam Chair, rest of the committee members. Let me give you a quick overview of an approach that we talked about that can be had on existing technology. This is a fundamental shift in engine design. The technology is known as a post-piston engine, and I'll try to explain briefly what some of those changes are in my subsequent slides.
Okay,
You have a question?
I think I'm supposed to disclose something.
You can do it after the presentation.
Okay, what am I supposed to disclose on this? Okay, we'll do it after the presentation.
Sure.
Okay.
So
you have to disclose
maybe my
something. I'll
presentation
call on you to
will
disclose.
stimulate that, but this was an application or solicitation available from the California Resources Board on advanced powertrains. And we've worked with a local company called cont'd, they're actually in Poway, for quite some time on trying to get this engine technology from the lab into actual on-road usage. So in response to that solicitation from Air Resources Board, Cal started a local entity and a cont'd power team together to apply for that particular proposal to develop 4 and demonstrate 2 of those 4 engines into heavy-duty Class 8 trucks. So really that is the crux of the application. The engine technology, the post-piston, and I'll kind of explain it really briefly, is basically a traditional V6 on the top. And what they do is they literally take the bottom half of, or 1/3, or excuse me, half of that engine, put it up above, remove the cylinder head, and then you have a post piston, and that forces help to increase the overall efficiency. That's a really simple explanation on what the technology is about, and I can delve into more detail if you'd like. The engine has been shown to have some success in light-duty vehicles, some pickup trucks, as well as some tactical applications by the U.S. Army. So there's been work that Cummins has already done in this particular arena. However, this particular project is really the first of its kind to do it on on-road vehicles that are heavy duty. We also think The technology fits very well into our petition for a heavy-duty engine standard because it's a different pathway to get to that .02 level. So a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or so, CARB notified CalSTART and Acades of getting this award for $7 million as a result of that application. The total project cost is a little more than $15.5 million. And Acades has put together a team with Peterbilt, the truck OEM, who's going to integrate the engines in, Walmart and Tyson that are going to be part of the demonstration fleet. And those technologies will be implemented throughout San Joaquin, Sacramento, South Coast, and San Diego area. So Walmart and Tyson will plan on using those trucks throughout. And the bulk of the time will be in disadvantaged communities, of course. So really, the idea behind this is to demonstrate this very novel approach on engine design. Just a couple other minor things. Engines are smaller in displacement, yet they have equivalent or greater horsepower and torque output compared to the traditional design. They have higher efficiencies, up to 55% brake thermal efficiency, so it's superior to diesel. We anticipate the .02 NOx level with much smaller after treatment than in a traditional engine design, as well as some greenhouse gas reductions and increased fuel economy because of smaller displacement. Those are some of the benefits that we see from this particular technology. So 2 of the 4 engines will be used to do dyno testing, performance evaluations, and enhancements. And then subsequent to that phase, 2 will be incorporated into a Peterbilt truck, and those will be used, as I said, as part of demonstration throughout the state. So really, the overall project cost is, as I said, a little more than $15.5 million. The bulk of that is going to be from the ARB grant and Acades Power and their partners, with $1 million requested from us towards this effort, and another $1 million that San Joaquin APCD is going to be putting in as part of this effort. So that's kind of a very quick overview. I'd be more than happy to answer some questions if you'd like, but really today's recommended action is to approve the $1 million towards this effort.
So question before?
Well, for the record,
We'll do it before the
before the vote.
So we did get to 15. There is a way to get to the whole 15. I wasn't sure from my reading whether there will be sufficient funds to get to the 15 million.
Yes.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah, I think the last chart did show it, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So
Okay.
basically, our ask is about 6.5%. San Joaquin is another 6.5%, and then the remainder is from the ARB grant and the technology provider.
I think the opposing piston technology is used in other places. Wonder why it hasn't caught on.
So it's a pretty expensive process
Uh-huh.
in terms of engineering,
Right.
and
Just because it's different, or, I mean, understandably, we make engines a certain way.
Yeah, it's a fundamental shift in the way engines are designed, but more recently, Cummins and other large engine OEMs have expressed a lot of interest in, again, increasing fuel consumption, lowering greenhouse gas reductions.
Decreasing fuel.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Decreasing fuel consumption, decreasing NOx and criteria pollutant, and decreasing greenhouse gases. So this pathway has become more attractive to some of those traditional engine developers.
Right. Okay, any questions from the committee? Any public testimony? Okay,
Do I need to
Ms.
say my
Mitchell,
thing
go
now?
ahead.
Say I have to disclose that I do not have a financial interest in any of these entities, but I'm required to identify for the record that I'm a member of the California Resources Board, and they are involved in this item. I used to not
Okay.
have to do that, but I was one recently, and I'm still here. And that is true for item 5 as well. So I have
But
to
you're not
disclose
precluded from voting, only to indicate
Only to
with no
indicate that-
financial interest you
Right.
are on
no
board.
financial
Right.
interest.
All right. Do I have a motion on this item?
I'll move the item.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Kuehl,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCallum,
Yes,
Councilmember Mitchell,
Aye.
Councilmember Robinson.
Aye.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
Okay,
So Supervisor, item 5 is being pulled by staff and will be heard at the Special Administrative Committee meeting on Monday. This was at the request of the chair, Dr. Burke.
Chair likes to know when we're taking money in.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh. All right, then item 5 has been pulled by staff. Is there any other business to come before the Technology Committee? Any public testimony on items not on our agenda? Seeing that was really fun, the cookies are good, and we are adjourned.